Despite numerous international sanctions against the Russian Federation, the Kremlin continues to earn substantial profits from oil sales without hindrance. Billions of euros flow into the Russian budget annually, supporting the aggressor state under economic pressure. These vast revenues have been made possible through the use of the so-called shadow fleet, a vast and concealed network of tankers that circumvent maritime law and typically sail under offshore flags. This fleet enables Russia to bypass sanctions, pumping enormous volumes of hydrocarbons into global markets and maintaining financial stability. This is not merely a violation of established norms. It is a systemic challenge to global economic security and an attempt to undermine international law. What is the shadow fleet? It is a highly organized network comprising, according to various estimates, more than 387 tankers. These vessels are not officially registered in Russia, but operate entirely in the interest of Russian oil exports. How does it work? The sanctions evasion mechanism, flags of convenience. Tankers operate under flags of states with lenient regulations and minimal oversight, such as the Comoros, Tanzania, Djibouti, São Tomé and Príncipe, Guyana, and Palau. These countries often lack the resources or political will to monitor the activity of vessels flying their flags. For example, according to Lloyd's List Intelligence, Tanzania has added at least 18 suspicious tankers to its registry since early 2023, and Palau, more than 20. Opaque ownership and shell companies. Russia employs complex legal schemes to acquire tankers via networks of shell and front companies registered in various offshore jurisdictions. This makes it impossible to identify the real beneficial owners. Most of these vessels are over 20 years old and should have already been decommissioned. Their low purchase cost allows the Kremlin to rapidly expand the shadow fleet. Studies show that around 80% of these tankers belong to obscure or newly formed companies. Disabling AIS, Automatic Identification System. Contrary to international maritime safety regulations, shadow fleet tankers frequently turn off AIS transponders, hiding their locations from radar. In 2023, such dark voyages increased by over 30% compared to the previous year. While AIS-disabled ships cannot pass narrow straits, the Bosphorus or the Suez Canal, their movement in open waters becomes nearly untraceable without advanced satellite tracking systems. Ship-to-ship transfers, STS. This method is used to blend oil and obscure its origin. Oil is transferred from one tanker to another in open seas, often in international waters to avoid jurisdiction. The main hotspots for these operations include the Mediterranean Sea, particularly near the Greek coast, Laconian Gulf, where STS operations have surged by 500% since early 2022. The Atlantic Ocean near the Azores, the North Sea off the coast of Denmark, Koga Bay. Thousands of such operations are carried out monthly, facilitating document forgery and the laundering of illicit oil. The numbers speak for themselves. Experts estimate that over 50% of Russia's seaborne oil exports in 2024 were conducted using the shadow fleet. These volumes challenge the effectiveness of sanctions. Seaborne oil exports generate around 80 billion euros annually for the Kremlin. Not just revenue, but a critical lifeline for the sanctioned Russian economy and direct funding for its military-industrial complex. Key buyers of Russian oil via the shadow fleet? China, the largest buyer, with volumes significantly increasing through shadow channels. India. Since early 2022, Russian oil imports to India have grown 22-fold, making it a major consumer. Much of this is done through shadow schemes, allowing India to purchase oil at deep discounts. Turkey remains an important hub for the transit and refining of Russian oil flowing through these covert channels. These countries, by purchasing energy without full transparency and beyond price caps, effectively sustain Russia's financial capabilities, enabling its aggressive policy. The international community, including the EU, US, Canada, and the UK, has imposed numerous sanctions packages. The EU has recently adopted its 17th package targeting nearly 200 vessels linked to the shadow fleet, yet the impact remains limited. Why are sanctions not effective enough? Monitoring challenges in open waters. International waters give the shadow fleet room to operate. Inspections are resource-intensive and legally complex. Lack of international coordination. The absence of a unified control system enables shadow fleet actors to avoid jurisdiction. Identifying vessels via IMO numbers is possible, but requires coordinated global efforts and political will, often lacking due to geopolitical or economic interests. Fear of global economic backlash. A major concern is the risk of a sharp rise in global oil prices. Many countries, especially in Europe, still rely on energy imports and fear economic destabilization if Russian oil flows are fully blocked. Russia exploits this dependency as a pressure tool. Constant Russian adaptation. The Kremlin demonstrates remarkable agility, constantly changing vessel ownership, reflagging, employing new shell companies, and developing intricate evasion tactics. Case study: Tanker Kylo. The Kylo tanker is heavily involved in oil transport. Its captain, Mohseni Ali, an Iranian national, has been under Ukrainian sanctions since February 2025. He previously commanded the Daksha tanker, sanctioned by US, the UK, Canada, Switzerland, and the EU for illegal transportation of Russian and Iranian oil. Maritime trackers show Kylo frequently travels from Russian ports, Novorossiysk, Primorsk, to India and China, often with AIS disabled. Kylo is linked to Ocean Link Maritime DMCC, a company repeatedly cited in investigations into sanction evasion. Ocean Link Maritime DMCC, registered in the UAE, Dubai Multi-Commodity Center. Ocean Link presents itself as a legitimate shipping company offering chartering, parts trading, and vessel ownership. Its website claims a passion for shipping and ambitions to be a logistics leader. In reality, the company has been repeatedly flagged by global regulators and watchdogs for its role in sanction evasion, especially in shipping Iranian and Russian oil, bypassing embargoes and price restrictions. Sanctions and reasons. April 2024, the U.S. Treasury, Opaque, sanctioned Ocean Link Maritime DMCC and much of its fleet for transporting Iranian goods on behalf of Iran's Armed Forces General Staff and Ministry of Defense. This directly supported Iran's military and Russia's war efforts. Ukraine has also imposed sanctions on the company, recognizing its role in supporting the aggressor. In addition, the company is subject to sanctions imposed by the UK, Canada, Switzerland, the EU, Australia, New Zealand, and Japan. Ocean Link operates a sizable fleet implicated in shadow operations, including oil tankers, product tankers, and LNG carriers. Identified vessels include Hecate, Anthea, Boreas, Cape Gas, Glaucus, renamed Agni, Oceanus Gas, Hebe, aka Daksha, Calypso Gas, Meraki, Elsa, Baxter, Demeter, Urea. Many sail under flags of convenience: Comoros, Antigua and Barbuda, Belize, Panama, Cook Islands. Methods of sanctions evasion used by Ocean Link. STS transfers. The company actively uses STS transfers to disguise the true origin of the cargo. For example, Hecate received over $100 million worth of Iranian cargo via STS from the sanctioned Dover tanker. AIS disabling. Ocean Link ships frequently disable AIS during trips in suspicious areas. Convenience flags, used to avoid strict oversight. Renaming and re-registering ships to obscure tracking and avoid enforcement. Ocean Link exemplifies how companies based in neutral jurisdictions become key players in global sanctions evasion, enabling vital funding flows to aggressor states. Additional tankers. Tanker Yunma. The captain is So Hlang Win, a Myanmar national. He is employed by Maxwell Shipping Services Private Limited, an Indian company that provides shipping and logistics services. However, June and May's routes raise serious questions. According to the tracking data, the tanker has made at least 7 voyages from Russian ports, including Ust-Luga, to India since January 2024, without ever providing transparent information on the origin of the cargo. Its movements are often accompanied by short AIS outages or non-standard maneuvers, indicating covert operations. Tanker Maine. The captain is Baz Serdar, a Turkish citizen. He has many years of experience on tankers and a master's degree in maritime business administration. He has been working for the Turkish company Sand Ship Management, first as a captain of the main vessel and more recently as an inspector. His direct connection to the tanker, which regularly transports oil and is likely used in shadowy schemes, is confirmed by numerous public records showing regular voyages from Russian ports in the Black Sea and Baltic. Over the past 6 months, Maine has called at least 12 times at Russian ports, often heading for the Mediterranean Sea, where STS operations are conducted. These cases illustrate how seemingly legitimate firms become enmeshed in complex evasion networks. The existence and unhindered operation of Russia's shadow fleet is a serious challenge to global security and the effectiveness of sanctions. It enables the aggressor to generate revenue under sanctions, and erodes trust in international legal mechanisms. The EU and its partners must improve coordination, real-time intelligence sharing, monitoring technology, and, crucially, show political will to enforce tougher measures. The price of inaction is an endless flow of shadow money that feeds the aggressor country and scales up the risk for the whole of Europe.